Yo guys, it's Salander here and welcome back to another video of my good friends on the internet. And today this video is just gonna be a bit of a review. It's gonna be a review of my CMR 300 actually, so let's get right into it. So, the CMR 300 is the camera that I'm currently shooting on right now, and if you are really curious, well, this is the quality, this is what it looks like. It's pretty cool, I guess. First of all, the camera was released in 1987, so it is a vintage camcorder and it shoots on the VHS tape. Now, what's really cool about that is that it just gives a certain look to the video, a very vintage look if you know what I mean, which I really like, and that's why I bought this camera. But anyway, here's some facts about it. First of all, this camera holds up really well in some ways, and in other ways it doesn't hold up too well. So the image quality, first of all, yeah, it's definitely an older camera, you could definitely tell that by just looking at the video. Yet at the same time, the optics on the camera are really good. You see this blurring in the background, that bokeh is amazing. It's a lot like using a modern DSLR or a mirrorless camera. The camera, first of all, has really good optics, but yet the image quality you can definitely tell is vintage, but I don't really mind that, to be honest. To have like a very technical view on things, it doesn't hold up in the year 2024/25 obviously, but you gotta keep in mind this thing is like 30 years old, like almost 40, and to be honest though, I think it still has really good image quality for this camera. It also has like a lot of manual features as well. It has autofocus and manual focus, and a lot of cameras do actually have that, but it also has a lot of controls for your white balance. Instead of just a couple presets, you can actually infinitely adjust the white balance, which is really nice on the camera. And the audio quality is also really good with it. You know, the built-in microphone is actually really spectacular. Also, the build quality on the camera is absolutely amazing. Speaking about the camera, this thing looks sweet. It looks so vintage. So I'm in my bathroom again. I decided to just do the rest of the video in here, looking in the mirror with the camera, because I feel like that would just be a cool idea. But anyway, so I don't know if you guys knew this about the camera before. First ever camera timed to use a MOS sensor or a CMOS sensor. Now, most things nowadays use a CMOS sensor, but this camera, the one I'm shooting on right now, was the first ever one, released back in 1987, and the CMOS is just as old as the CCD, but it did have like a lot of issues compared to the CCD, and to be honest, yeah, it's definitely a lot better than your standard CCD sensor. It's a lot more better in low light, but not by much, even though the cameras that I have that use CCDs are very small cameras, like palm cameras, instead of this big thing that probably has a pretty big sensor, probably similar size to Canon G7X or maybe a micro four thirds. Also, this camera has like a lot of different settings as well. Like, first of all, there's actually a review, like a little button that you could just press to, you know, review your footage. There's the display. It doesn't really do much except do this. It definitely just has a black and white viewfinder. And the microphone's actually really good, though the microphone doesn't look like this. The microphone looks like that, but I have this long thing on it to just make it look cool. This camera is definitely mogging, you know. I have it in my room, it's next to the other cameras, and this thing is definitely mogging compared to the other cameras, no doubt about that. This thing looks really cool, and it's also built really well, like I said. Now, if you're curious about the specs of the camera, well, the lens is definitely a pretty decent one at that. I think it's f2.8. No, it is f2.8. It could go to infinity to about 4 feet, and also even has a macro mode as well, and it has power zoom like this. And this is what this looks like. It's pretty slow, and then we can just turn on the autofocus. So the autofocus, it doesn't hold up that well. But no, the functionality of this camera is pretty good and pretty great for this year. But the image quality definitely isn't, you know, there obviously. But the way the images look out of this camera, it gives a certain charm, and that's why I bought it. And I think I'm gonna use this camera, you know, for that look, because I think it's a very cool look. I guess this concludes the review of this camera. Leave a like if you like this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys right on the next video. Have a good day, everybody, and bye.